Shit. All right, y'all. We back with another one. Real Ops Podcast, man. Before we get started, y'all make sure y'all click that like, hit that subscribe to get the algorithms rolling. So that way, you know what I'm saying, more people can get this game that we dropping on y'all, man. This episode, we're gonna be talking about emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that's key. And some people may not even know like what that is technically. So I mean, just to start off, I'm gonna hit y'all with the actual like definition. Emotional intelligence. It's the ability to understand, use, manage your emotions in positive ways. Those positive ways can help you relieve stress, communicate effectively, have empathy for others, and you know what I'm saying, ultimately resolve conflicts. So there it is, man. We're gonna get into it. Emotional intelligence. So I mean, just starting off hearing like what it is, what do you think like is the biggest benefit of somebody like that operates with emotional intelligence versus somebody that don't operate with emotional intelligence?
You're asking me like as far as
Like what's the greatest benefit of somebody that got emotional intelligence versus somebody with no emotional intelligence? Like what do you think the type of problems they'll run into if they operating with low emotional intelligence as
well,
opposed
I
to
think one thing for sure is like people don't want to be around you.
yeah.
That's one thing. People don't want to be around you. People you might see people start to cut you off in a types of way. You know, he don't text me back. You know, yeah, don't text me back. Then he be wild. He be
Right.
tripping. You
So
know what I'm
so you
saying?
think so you think people that operate with low emotional intelligence are more like high strung, like sporadic, like hard
High
to
strung,
read, like
unstable. You
unstable,
know,
anything at
I
any
feel
moment
like
they might blow up.
I feel like people like that. Like when you go out, like say if you were to go out in public, you know, to like a bar or club or something, or just an event, really, it's like they'll be the ones to like start tripping. You know what I mean? Or you might get into it with people just because you know your boy tripping or something or saying something or yeah, like low emotional intelligence. Because people may test you or try you. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to react. You know,
Right.
react
So
in the you can react in a certain way. You know, the way you react to things, I feel like that's the way you react definitely is the way you have emotional intelligence. You know what
the
I mean?
way that you respond to
Yeah, the way
stuff.
you respond for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, you know what I'm saying? They talk about like resolving conflicts. I feel like people with low emotional intelligence, they're gonna always have the conflict is always gonna be bigger than what it seems because they operating on up their emotion.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? And
Yeah.
having emotional intelligence is not just for yourself, it's being able to manage other people's emotions just by like you said, how you respond, how you talk to them, and just how you navigate through, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be. We're gonna all have conflicts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not gonna always agree with you, whatever, but I feel like if you got a good sense of emotional intelligence, then you're gonna always kind of find a way to navigate without the situation being, bigger than what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's be times where I get mad. You know, I might get mad at a situation, or I mean, I be wanting to pop off. You know, I be wanting to cuss somebody out or something, but I have to know, like, okay, I can't do it like that. I have to, control my thoughts, control my moment. Maybe take a deep breath. You know what I mean? Kind of, almost in a way, like let it slide. You know, you have to let. Do you feel like that? You feel like you have to let a lot of things slide, like. I mean, I feel like that's the other thing about it. It's like when I let shit slide, it's like it'll still bother me. You know what I mean? I might handle that situation right, but it's like it'll still bother me that I didn't snap on them, or the fact that a person could think that he can even say that or test me like that.
The
You know?
audacity. The audacity.
You know, meekness for weakness. You know, like they see you a nice person, they see you cool, they see you don't respond to shit. So they might try to test you in a way. Say, oh, this guy don't, I don't know. I feel
Nah,
like
yeah,
people kind of
yeah.
antagonize you for being cool or something. It's like they
No,
want
yeah.
to see a reaction from this person. You know what I mean?
I can agree with that because I mean, for the most part, I feel like I'm pretty like calm, pretty level headed, kind of operate like on the same frequency most of the time. So
It's been times where I've seen like things happen to you, and I'd be like, "Nigga, you didn't get mad at you." I was like, "How did you stay?" I was like, "I'll be wondering like, how did you stay calm during that? You know what I mean? During that experience, or this dude might say something crazy, or a client might do, you know what I mean? Some weird shit. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah. So I
and
mean,
I think that just come from like having a certain level of like I said, empathy. Like you gotta be able to like almost empathize or be able to see maybe behind the scenes of where that person is coming from. I know everybody have their own stuff that they dealing with. So it's like I'm not gonna let your problems become my problems because of the way I respond. And now you can just leave here saying, "Oh yeah, that nigga," you know what I'm saying? He just, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
like in my own personal experience with it, it's just it's just a certain level of patience. And I think that patience comes from just, growing, maturing, having an understanding that, you know what I'm saying? For one, everybody's not gonna see things the way that you see it. So you gotta understand that off the rip. Everybody have their own common sense, as I would say, you know.
But do you feel? I mean, well, maybe obviously everybody's different. I feel like sometimes with me, right? Like, I let shit slide, or think about whatever, let shit slide, so I won't react to it. But it's almost like I'm balling that anger. You know what I mean? It's like in the moment I'm mad. You know what I mean? But it's like I'll ball the anger. I won't say nothing. I won't react. You won't get a reaction out of me. But it's like maybe like I'm still thinking about that the next day or that night. It's all on my mind. It's like it's bothering me. It's bothering me that people would have the audacity to. Sometimes I feel like I get attacked, like like from this person, you know what I mean? Like, damn, like what did I do to y'all? Like, like I don't know. So it's like, I don't say nothing, I react. So it's like I bottle that up, and it may be a trigger for me to, later on. I mean, I feel like with me, that's what I worry about. It's like I'll bottle stuff up, and then something, a situation might happen, and I'm
You just
triggered now. You
blow.
know what I mean? Yeah, I'm triggered. Everything that I've been bottled up just comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes out on the wrong people, not like the person that
That it
deserved
was
to.
that it was
It
intended
was
for.
it was
Yeah.
deserved for
You
the
end up
motherfucker that made me mad. Not my girl, not for my my parents, or not
right.
somebody that my friend or something. So I feel like I do that. I mean, so I guess like I want to know is that healthy? You know what I mean, to bottle your emotions up? Like, I mean, I don't know if you would consider that to bottle your emotions, but it's like you get mad too. You know what I mean, but you kind of just have to restrain and not react. You know what I mean? But it's like, I mean, for you, do you think that like you do still hold that in you? Like, someone makes you mad, do you kind of just forget about it, or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
ball it up, or
definitely. If somebody push them buttons, I mean, it's not just gonna go like unforeseen, unnoticed to where it's like I'm gonna just be able to blow it off. I just blow it off in my actions like immediately. So it's like, oh, I know I can't respond because this can go bad. But as far as like once I walk away from the situation, yeah, I mean we only human, so yeah, it's still weighing on my mind. And there's times like you said to where I feel like I should have gave them what they was looking
like
for.
I feel like I got played.
Right,
I feel like I
right. I
got
should have given them
played
what they
by
was
this
looking
dude,
for.
letting this dude say this or letting this dude slide with that. You know what I mean? So yeah,
But I think like part of that too is like holding yourself accountable because I feel like in every situation we play a role. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like you may be arguing with somebody that really don't hold themselves accountable for stuff. So that's an easy way for them to put the blame on you or to make you the problem. And it's kind of like as long as you know the role that you played in that part, I think it's easy to yeah, you're gonna bottle it up, you're gonna have it with you, but it's easy to not to hold on to it as long as you might would if you're one of those people who lack accountability too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense.
Because I know a lot of times like we could just take it from like a relationship standpoint. Us as men, I feel like we gotta have a higher level of emotional intelligence when it comes to dealing with our significant others just because you know, for one, the makeup is different. For two, like we endure different stresses and all that. So like we can't really let words, you know what I'm saying,
For
be the
sure.
trigger for us lashing out and you know what I'm saying, acting outside of our character when, you know what I'm saying, that's not really our characteristics as men.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times emotional intelligence, that's like, I think it's like a learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't start off just being emotionally intelligent. You know what I'm saying? I don't think so, to a certain degree, because it's things to where it's like certain stuff have to happen and certain experience happen that teach us how to deal with stuff, that teach us how to reflect on ourselves and stuff like that. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Like experiences help. I also do feel like being around certain people do help too. You know what I mean? Like I can say, like looking at you, from barber school, you being my teacher, working at the last two shops. You know what I mean? Just and I'm like I said, I've seen situations to where like, damn, if that was me, I don't know if I could have handled it that well. And I've seen you handle a lot of situations like, you don't get mad, you cool. So yeah, I feel like everything, as far as like the people you hang around with, the people you talk to, other people, they can help you because they might have been in a similar situation
Right.
or have similar experiences, so you kind of talk it out and kind of maybe vent a little bit to other people that go through similar things you go through, and kind of, I can kind of bounce off each other's ideas and okay, that was good, and kind of like you said, it's like there's been times where I've been irritated about a situation, and I'll vent to my homie about it, and he'll give me a perspective that I never saw before. It's like, oh, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean? It's like I'm over here mad, you know what I mean, about a certain situation, and he broke it down in another perspective. So it's like, it made me realize, okay, hey, maybe you are right. I do have to take accountability for that. You know what I mean? I do have to understand, certain things that it's not clicking in my head at the time. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you mad? Why are you, so yeah.
I think it's like part of it is like maturity too. Cause like, yeah, I've been knowing you for a while, but like shit, I'm 45 right now. 10, 15 years ago, I'm responding different.
Mm.
It's up.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm not going, what you say?
Yeah.
But it's like straight up. You learn over time, and people that know me can attest, like, yeah, there are certain situations to where people may have looked at like, damn, he out of character because I'm usually in the same form. I usually, operate on the same vibration to where it's kind of like calm. I'm not gonna let stuff get to me. But then, like I said, we only human, man.
Yeah.
So sometimes things are gonna get the best of us. But I think, even in those situations, having emotional intelligence is being able to hold yourself accountable to where you can come back full circle and maybe apologize, or maybe, what I'm saying, oh, that's my bad. It didn't mean to come out like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's all like being able to reflect on yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Knowing that I didn't really mean to put it out there like that. I may have responded wrong, but me to be able to reflect on myself and check myself and come back and kind of soothe the situation, especially in a relationship, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people know when they do you wrong or they rubbed you the wrong way. But I think emotional intelligence is having that morale and having that character about yourself to where you can come back later and really hold yourself accountable for
later
what you said. Yeah.
Yeah, later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your experiences like, you know what I'm saying? Or what have you witnessed in situations where people was probably, where you had to just sum it up like, man, they not emotionally intelligent. They, they're allowing stuff to get to them that wouldn't get to me. But like I said, everybody operate different. Whatever. Have you ever seen like a customer get a barber out of his element to where you kind of like, man, if he probably had a little bit more emotional intelligence, he wouldn't have let that bother him like that. You know
yeah, it was experience with myself. Somebody, a dude that came in, who was kind of already like had a chip on his shoulder, you know what I mean? Kind of like, mucky muck dude, I cut his hair. He was kind of complaining the whole time. He was talking in Spanish. He was a Mexican cat, so he was talking in Spanish to other Spanish barbers. Like I guess asking them about me, like, oh, is he good? Like, why is he? You know what I mean? Kind of like talking shit in a way, to the point where the other barber was, like, other Mexican barber was like, hey, bro, hurry up and finish his hair, because they was getting irritated about what he was saying.
Oh, okay.
So finish his haircut. He was still complaining about it, kind of talking shit a little bit. I told him, I was like, if you're not happy, you don't have to pay. He's, oh no, I'm gonna pay you. He was like, all right, cool. He paid me. Then when he paid me, I went to go shake his hand. I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. I'm not shaking your hand. All right, cool. Like, you know what I mean? He walks to the front of the shop and he's still talking. Like he's still, he's still kind of talking shit. And I said something to him. And he's still kind of talking shit. And I stood up. I took my coat off. I was like, bro, sound like you want to go outside, bro. Sound like you want to go outside. Let's walk outside. And then he had said, he was, I don't know what he said. He said something like, oh, do you know who I am? And that guy, I don't know, for some reason.
That triggered it.
That, I don't know, for some reason, that made me so mad. I slapped, like the little poster on the ground. Like I was stepping up to him, like, what's up? I'm sorry, in the shop, there's customers in there, you know what I mean? So yeah, he definitely got me out my element. I flashed out on him. The other barbers had to, restrain me back. And his bitch ass calling the police, wanted to talk to the owner. Almost got fired for that.
He called the police?
He was talking to the owner. I don't know. The owner took care of it. You know what I mean? And if I wasn't cool, and that maybe that's the other thing. If I didn't have emotional intelligence, like what I'm trying to say, like if I didn't have emotional intelligence the whole time, because people knew my character, you know what I mean? Oh, okay, so the owner knew that wasn't like me to do, you know what I mean? So he gave me pretty much another chance, but he told me, he's like, man, if you was anybody else, I would have had to fire you, you know what I mean? And
you let him get you out your element.
Oh yeah, for sure did. He got my ass for sure, you know what I mean? So I guess if I had to I knew it was like if I that situation came back around, I would know exactly how to handle it. I would just kind of talk shit back to him, you know what I mean? Like, oh, thank you for your $40, you know what I mean? Or I would kind of talk shit or, kind of antagonize him in a way, you know what I mean? I would definitely wouldn't let him get me mad to where I'm trying to fight him. I'm telling him, let's go outside. And so, yeah, that wasn't a good situation. And that just don't look good, that doesn't, people look at you, people start looking at you differently, you know what I mean? Like, so. Yeah, and that's not, and as someone who owns a business, or runs your own business, you definitely have to have emotional intelligence, because a lot of people will try you, man. A lot of people will try you for, I don't know what reason. Like I thought I was being professional. I thought I was being cool. You didn't like the haircut. I told you didn't have to pay. You still wanted to pay. You didn't want to shake my hand. You still talking shit. You know what I mean? Like you paid me. You wanted to pay, and you still in the front. You still talking. Like you still like there's nothing else to do. You got your haircut. You paid. What else is there to do? Like, why are you still here talking and instigating? You know what I mean? Right. So he got me. He got me for sure. And like I said, like me not having emotional intelligence, if I wasn't cool with the owner, I would be out of a job. Like I would have lost my job. You know what I mean? And that would have been bad. Sure.
Crashed out.
So
let me ask you this: what do you think about we know what's going on with we see a lot of youngsters crashing out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Over little stuff. They told pistols, they're ready to shoot before they fight. And it's just like, where do you think that lack of emotional intelligence starts at? Do you think that's something that's it's a learned behavior to where they kind of see other people react like that, so they feel like that's the norm? Or do you feel like, you know what I'm saying, that's just that individual?
Man, I feel like it's probably a bit of everything, you know what I mean? More so on the individual. Nah, I can't really say more so on the individual, because if you never, like I said, like if you never had other people to kind of learn from, like I said, I've seen you, people test you, you know what I mean? You react to this. So I was able to see, and I was able to ask you, yeah, man, you get mad. And you'll tell me, oh man, he's probably got something going on. He's probably mad about something. Right. And I'm okay. It's like a different perspective you get. So okay, yeah, he probably is mad. I'm not gonna let this dude get me mad because your bitch, you know what I mean, mad at you, or your bitch cheating on you, or you know what I mean, something happened to you, you know what I mean, or you broke, or you got fired from your job. Like now like you said, you're putting that energy on me. Right. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean, respond to your energy because you're having a bad day, you're having a bad week, shit ain't going right for you. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this. So do you feel like us as men, do you think that the lack of, I'm gonna just say conflict resolution, do you feel like the lack of being able to resolve a conflict comes from not being around, I'm gonna just say it, not necessarily having a dad in the home? Do you think there's a difference on the youngsters who able to deal with conflict, the ones that do got a dad in the home versus the ones who kind of operating off of that a womanly instinct, more or less?
Yeah, not to say like that, because it's not all, you know what I mean? But even in here, when kids come here, I see the difference between the kid who has a dad in his life and then the kids who don't have a dad in life. The kids who don't have a dad, they seem more, not for the most part, you know what I mean? There's some, moms doing a great job raising their child by themselves.
Right,
I mean, not saying for across the board, I don't want to offend nobody.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, for the most part, I see, like a mom who might come in who don't have like that support. I see the kids, they tend to cry more. They tend to, like they're not emotionally intelligent compared to, we'll see dads coming here. The kids start crying. What you crying for, man? Stop crying, man. Hey, man, it's good. You're not getting hurt. You're okay. So you have somebody to kind of teach you like it's okay. Like you don't need to, you're good. Like you don't need to respond like that. Why are you mad for? I mean, it's cool. It's all good. Like So yeah, I definitely see that. That's definitely a big factor too. Having a dad in there for sure.
So would you say it's safe to say, like, based on like your perspective, that you being like fed at home, your level of emotional intelligence is going to be different? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Fed at home?
yeah, like as far as like, okay, if you in the house and say you may be the only boy, but you got three sisters, and obviously the way that they handle conflicts and the way that they respond to things are going to be different, and just by nature you're going to kind of,
you're a product of your environment.
yeah,
You're a product of your environment. So yeah, I've seen, now just like I was telling my other homie, like I can almost see a difference between, it's almost like I don't have to know your story. I can just hear you, like, talk a little bit, maybe get to know you a little bit. And I can kind of tell like kids who grew up by themselves and kids who grew up with brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Like, I could tell people who might have three older brothers. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I could tell difference for sure. You know what I mean? So brothers growing up with sisters, growing up with no siblings, growing up with a dad in the house. Yeah, it's definitely different. You know what I mean? I could tell the difference, not all the time, but definitely that plays a big role. You know what I mean, that plays a big role for sure.
So okay, let me ask you this: how do you feel like somebody that has emotional intelligence, like, how would they pretty much, because part of it is like managing other people's emotions, and we all been in situations to where it's kind of like we gotta say the right stuff to simmer somebody down
For sure.
before, you know what I'm saying, before it get to that point. So it's like, how do you feel like that's something that's developed? You feel like we just gotta go through them arguments and want it to end up different, or you feel like, you know what I'm saying, it's more or less like having empathy for that person? Because I know my personal experience, like, if I'm in a relationship and it's with somebody that I'm really vibing with and all that, I'm gonna be a little bit more patient.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And a little bit more understanding, as opposed to,
you getting cut off.
What?
You getting cut off fast as fuck.
Get out of here.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I was telling my girl that too. I was like, I try to, like communicate better and try to, you my girl, I love you and everything. Compared to like, I was telling her when I was single, I was cutting bitches off left and right. Like, you know what I mean? You make me mad, you might not hear from me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you might not
happy I love you.
Yeah, exactly. You might not even hear from me. You know what I mean? Like literally, I'll text like, "Oh, you stop hitting me up," or like I don't respond. Like, yeah, man, you made me mad. Like, I'm good. I'm not dealing with you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that plays a role in it for sure. I mean, yeah.
So okay, so how do you think that changes, like, from somebody that's really don't really operate with emotional intelligence? How do you think they come into a space to where, they start to change that behavior? Like, what do you think that take? Like, for instance, the youngsters that's running around out
Boot
here.
camp.
Military.
No, shit. Damn, that's a good question, man. That's a good question.
Because
that's a good question, man.
Because that's something that I always wonder. Like, us being able to like impact the youngsters that come up in here, and I mean, we got a pretty good group. Ain't none of them just like, you know what I'm saying? We ain't got no cats running up in here with
crazy ass stories,
and acting like, you know what I'm saying. So I always wonder, like, for those, when we do run into those people, like, what can we give them? Like, what impact can we have on them to kind of get them to, like, you know what I'm saying, to kind of see it different, you know?
Man, I mean, that's hard for me to say because I still work on that. I still struggle with emotional intelligence. Like, so I don't think I'm bad, you know what I mean? But I still, I still get mad. I still bottle things up. So I'm not sure if how I do it is the right approach. So I'm not sure if I can tell anybody else advice on how to do that. But as far as how you can be better,
Okay, so I mean, how would you do it? Now that you have your own son, even though you know what I'm saying he's still young, like times when he come home, oh dad, you know what I'm saying, I got into it with, you know what I'm saying, whatever happened, you know what I'm saying, at school or whatever may go on in life, you know what I'm saying? Like how do you feel like you would give him a different perspective?
I guess it depends on the situation. It's just like he just got into a fight at school. Someone said something to him.
Somebody said something to him and he went off.
Someone said something
And
to
in
him. Went
in
off.
your eyes it wasn't even nothing worth, like, you know
I
what I'm
mean, I
saying?
guess I would ask him. I was like, the dude that, so he said something, got you mad. He'll probably say, yeah. And I'd be like, okay, does he give you any money? No. Does he pay your bills? No. Does he help you, your basketball, football? No. Does he do anything for you? Like, no. So why would you let somebody who has, who is not contributing in
Right,
any type of
right.
way in your life, why would you let this dude get you off your guard, off your shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, you do what you're supposed to do. Don't worry about what these motherfuckers are gonna say. Like, whether you're doing great, whether you're doing bad, someone's only gonna say something anyway. So you shouldn't even worry about that. Like for me, that's how I stopped caring about what other people think, or 'cause I'm thinking like, all the bills I gotta pay, all the shit I gotta take care of. My son, like y'all don't contribute not one penny. You know what I'm saying? So
Right. So I can't.
for me to care about what you say, I could care less, what you say. Like, the only thing I know I got real responsibilities to worry about. So anything other than that, I can't get me mad, man. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Okay, I'm
that's
too worried about paying these bills and getting this shit going. So I
nah.
don't
Yeah,
have
that's
time to worry about you. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely. That's a good one. So do you feel like the people who operate with low emotional intelligence? Do you feel like, I don't know how it's gonna sound funny, but do you feel like they care too much about what other people say, about what other people think? I mean, I know we're supposed to, like, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
you
saying,
have to.
always value,
You have to.
the right person's opinion, but
You have to.
I think
Yeah,
it's
you
I
have to
think
care about what they say because there ain't no way that can trigger you to get you mad. You know what I mean? Unless it's something like you balled up and you been cool. You know what I mean? And you kind of just have a trigger. You know what I mean? But as far as like you're always popping it off, you're always getting mad, you always yelling, you always, you know what I mean? You're always angry. You know what I mean? You're always, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a problem. Yeah, you're worried about the wrong things. You should worry about, Usually, I feel like people with emotional, like low emotional intelligence, I do feel like, you kind of see their lives as not like, definitely not where they want to be. I'm not saying I can't judge somebody else's life like, oh, this is where you should be doing, or this is where you should have, but it's like, they seem to have a little bit harder. It's almost like they make their lives harder, like they make their own lives harder because they're, not emotionally intelligent. You know what I mean? They're getting mad. No one wants to be around. Like I said, you don't want to be around them. You don't want to be, you don't want to. I seen people like lose friends, hella people, like from not being, I wouldn't say necessarily lose friends, but people, getting cut off, like I think I showed you that message to one of my mutual, you know what I mean,
oh yeah,
homies. And
yeah,
he was like, I cut him off, like, so it's like people will start to cut you off. They still have love for you and everything, but it's like,
right,
I can't help you, man. Like you're powering off too much. You're burning your bridges with other people.
right,
Like,
right.
yeah, man, you're too much. You know what I mean? Too much to deal with. Like, and like I said, as the older we get, the more responsibilities we get. So it's like, some homies I could have helped you when I was 22, 23. I'm 32 now. I got a son. You know what I mean? So I can't.
Right.
All my time is
Yeah, I
devoted
can't.
to my family and my work and my
No, yeah, I
businesses.
feel that.
Like, so I can't even help you if I, you know what I mean?
If I wanted to,
Yeah, I can't help you.
it's
You know what I
just
mean?
it's not a
Can't help you. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. I ain't in that position to
Not even in that position.
help.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah, definitely. So I mean, one of the things that also said about, like, emotional intelligence is basically like learning how to, like, reward yourself and not, you know what I'm saying. I feel like we all put here to struggle in a sense. You know what I'm saying. That's why we hear, like, no weapon formed against me shall prosper, because it's going to always be something formed against you. But I feel like how you deal with it is going, you know what I'm saying, is going to equate to if it prospers or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's constantly things that's being formed against us. You know what I'm saying? But it's like how we deal with it is going to determine if it prosper or not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, a lot of, I mean, from my upbringing, you know what I mean? A lot of the stuff that we do talk like we're talking about right now, it's like a lot of stuff is biblical, you know? It's in the Bible, you know? So I was reading most of the, I don't know the exact scripture. I want to say like Proverbs 15:6 or something like that. Says something like a fool gets easily angered, but a wise man stays calm when insulted.
mm,
You know what I mean? So,
mm,
and it's hard to do that though. I'm not saying like, oh, it's in the Bible, you should do that. It's hard to do it. I get mad. I want to snap off, but it's like I have to like control myself, you know? So it's not easy to do.
yeah,
But yeah, he's definitely a wise person, knows how to stay calm when insulted. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes like people can see that too. You know, like I had like I said, I have homies insult me or antagonize me. You know, like let's say we're on a group, right? Let's say I have 6 or 7 of my homies are on the group. We're all joking with each other. One dude might say a joke that's like, but maybe I'm just tripping or something. You know what I mean? But later on, let's say I'm talking to my other homie, he'll bring it up. My other homie's like, hey man, why did old
oh
boys
yeah, why you come
say, you know
at
what I
you
mean?
like
So
that?
people can see that, you know what I mean? So you don't have to necessarily react because people can't see that, you know what I mean? So you don't have to, and I guess something my brother told me when I was younger, he said something like, everything doesn't need a response, like, you know, right then and there, you know what I mean? Like it'll be like a good time later on to where you can respond to that, you know what I mean? So you don't need to react to everything right then and there. You can, you know what I mean? Like
No,
kind of
yeah,
just be calm in the moment, you know what I mean? You'll have a time to, you know what I mean? It's almost like God will give you a perfect time to put them on blast for everybody to laugh at. You know what I mean? And it's like everybody's been already seen it, you know, so they know. So when you do say that joke in a certain setting, you know what I mean? It's like you're gonna seem like Kevin Hart. It's gonna be a knockout punch joke, you know what I mean, type thing. So yeah, you don't have to respond to everything. You kind of just I mean, I don't know, people be knowing what they do, so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
all a balance, I guess. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Trying to
But I definitely think you had a good point when you said like a lot of it is biblical because you know what I'm saying. I feel like, and not to get too spiritual, but I feel like those are stories that we supposed to be able to gain examples from to be able to figure out how to maneuver. You know
mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like hearing other people's stories, understanding, certain scriptures and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the one basically that says, how a man speaketh is he. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like the things that come out of your mouth are really pretty much going to determine how you are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, that's a mentality. You know what I'm saying? When certain people say stuff, and that brings me back to being able to understand. I think it's easy for me to understand and operate with emotional intelligence because I listen. You know what I'm saying? I really listen. I'll take the time to break down what they're saying and try to get my own understanding of like where that's coming from. Like
Mm-hmm.
you said, you seen situations you like, man, you're not gonna trip on that. I got understanding. I know where it's coming from. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? It's coming from a place of trauma. It's coming from a place where they haven't been taught how to maneuver when certain things come up. So it's like my understanding allows me to be like, you know what I'm saying, more lenient or more forgiving. You know what I'm saying with the situation. And I know at the end of the day, they got to deal with God. However, God see fit that
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying. They
Mm-hmm.
life or however they plans are, managed and carried out. A lot of that has to do with God. And if
Yeah.
you ain't living right, then you know what I'm saying. You can't expect it to go a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I posted something before where I was talking about like our idols are his rivals. So like
Mm-hmm.
the things that we idolize become the same things that becomes a rival to God. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So we idolizing money, we idolizing women, we idolizing material shit, cars, whatever. Then ultimately that becomes his rival. And those things become that much harder to get
Mm,
because you know what I'm saying. We not idolizing the right things, and I just feel like and I don't always look at it like that. You know what I'm saying. It took me some learning. It took me losing people close to me to really get closer and understand. Like
mhm,
you know what I'm saying. We ain't supposed to be living like that, man.
mm.
So I think that's just something that comes like as we mature too. Because like I said, this my mentality has changed over the years based on my experiences and going through shit. You know what I'm saying? And pain will bring a lot of understanding. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Because you kind of left to deal with the situation, and the only way you can deal with it is to find some source of understanding. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like we all go through it,
yeah,
but it's like how we understand it and how we, you know, turn that lesson, turn that loss into a lesson. That's I think that all plays a key in like emotional intelligence. You know what I'm
yeah, for
saying?
sure. You know what I mean? To make a mistake and then, you know what I mean? Or something bad happened, but you still take something positive from it. You know what I mean? That's definitely important too. You know what I mean? And yeah, I feel like with low emotional intelligence, when something bad happens, you might start blaming why me, like I did before, something bad happened, like, damn God, why, you know what I'm saying? Why me, nigga? Why what I do? You know what I'm saying? What, you know what I mean? So I'll start to blame, start to blame God, start to blame other people, you know what I mean? And instead of blaming God and blaming other people, maybe try to see the lesson that's being, you know what I mean? Try to see the lesson that you're going through. And like I said, when you're going through the storm, it's hard. You don't want to see a lesson.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, man, I don't want to. I'm not. My homie used to joke with me like when I was going through a hard time. I used to tell him, man, this shit sucks with the boob, not happy. And he used to always try to say some positive things. Oh yeah, man, God. Now I was joking with him like, man, I'm not trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Right.
trying to hear that shit right
Right.
now, man. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I'm trying to.
Right.
I need this. I need that. I need this. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
not trying to hear this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Pray. I'm not trying to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes God will put you in a messy position until you ready to, you know what I mean? Like are you ready to listen now? Oh, okay, cool. I'm about to now you're about to start seeing why I did this, you know what I mean? So you can have
Mm.
you know what I mean? You can
Yeah. I think that's a good point because I was watching something like I usually like tune into to this pastor that I watch, you know what I'm saying, Sundays when I got the time. He was saying like there's three things that God do. He pick us, he position us, but then he processes. And
that process shit.
I feel like it's the process.
Mm,
It's the processing that we don't want to, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to accept that processing is taking place
yeah. Like
because
this is
like
happening.
this is
This
happening.
is
Because like
happening. Yeah.
I feel like we've been picked and we've been positioned to be here, but the process that we got to go through to get to that bread that we want to make consistently every
That shit's bull.
the
That
process
process is
that
bullshit, man. That
process
process is
boy
bullshit,
that
man.
process
Yeah.
is that's you know what I'm saying
I
that's
told you I told you about the process to get here. Man, it's been a once or twice where I broke down, nigga.
oh yeah
I broke down, nigga. Like I
for
broke down
sure
for sure, nigga. Like
for
I
sure
was going through it. You know
for
what I mean?
sure
Like didn't understand why it was happening. Didn't understand why. You know what I mean? I didn't understand nothing. You know what I mean? So, but like now it's like going through it. It's like I understood. Like I definitely understood why. Maybe I needed to go through that.
oh
I
yeah
needed to go through that process to ultimately become better. Not to say that everything is better now. You know what I mean? It's still it's still a process. I'm still
right
I talk about all the time. It's like I'm still going through it. You know what I
yeah
mean? And not as far as like it's bad, but still
yeah
learning. I'm still learning. I'm still you know what I mean recovering, you know what I mean? So
oh
yeah, it's a
yeah
process, man. It's every day, and try to be grateful, try to take the lessons, try to take the good, you know what I mean, and try to take the bad, you know what I mean, and make it, learn from both sides. You can learn from the good. You can learn. You know what I mean. You can learn from the bad too. I guess.
and I think that's a good point. I think it's we gotta want to learn though. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? In the process for us to be able to really see why the process was going on. Because I know for me, and some of y'all may know that know me, I was shit. I was forced out of a situation and to where I had to move in with my grandma. As you know what I'm saying, a 40-plus-year-old man, nobody want to live with grandma. And not only that, grandma needed help. So there was times where I had to get up in the middle of the night. I had to do certain things, and it's never to complain. It's just at that time I couldn't see what I was being processed for.
mm,
But now I can see like, okay, I was being processed because I was picked and put in position to have somebody that really loved me. And without me going through that process to learn, greater patience, to learn greater understanding, I wasn't going to be able to stay in position for what I was picked for. You know what I'm saying? And now I can say I'm blessed to be in the bigger space. I got my own house. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And it's like, but I had to go through that process. I had to go through the process of sleeping in the house with other people, sleeping
Like
on
you
the
might
floor.
you might not have been in the house if it wasn't for you standing there. You know what I mean? Yeah, you
For
might not
sure.
even be in
Because
that.
if I
Yeah,
wouldn't have been put through the fire and brought out the situation that I thought was good for me at the time, in a past relationship, then there's no way I would have been processed to be able to endure and have the patience. Like,
yeah,
like shit. Just being working out here and coming out here and having to travel every day and all that, man, that take extreme patience because it's a lot of days where I get up, especially when the money ain't right, because that's a lot of motivating factors for us. But when
hell
I
yeah.
get up and I look at my books and I'm like, damn, I got to show up regardless. And that was being, put in that position to be processed to where it's like, man, grandma need me regardless. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Ain't nobody else really here to do it. So I got to step up to a plate, be a man. And not only that, that's my mom's mom. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it was a certain level of respect and empathy that allowed me to, you know what I'm saying? To really show up for her every day. Because there's plenty of times when I was like, man, I don't want to do this.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Don't call me again. You know what I'm saying? For real, getting irritated. But I mean, that's just human nature. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? When we don't understand, like, damn, God, what is this process about?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I feel like that builds on the emotional
for
intelligence.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
we're able to see why, you know what I'm saying? I was put through all those different emotions
yeah,
because those were emotions that I wasn't always good at. You feel what I'm saying? I had to learn how, and I already thought I was patient, but I
yeah,
had to learn how to be a little bit more patient, a
yeah,
little bit more forgiving, a little bit more understanding. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I think, that's that process.
yeah,
Everybody goes through it. Some people stay in it longer based on their perspective, though.
yeah.
You know what I'm
But yeah,
saying?
you definitely have to be open to say receive the message. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to do. You know, that shit
yeah,
hard, man. That shit
yeah.
hard to do that shit. When shit ain't right, you know what I mean? Shit ain't going how the way you expect it to go. You're not making the money you're expecting to make. Man, that shit hard, bro. That shit hard.
Yeah. That like lack of control. Feeling like you can only control stuff to a certain point. You know what I'm saying? I know in my life I've been pretty blessed to say that I can a lot of times I've been able to control the situation to a certain extent. I mean, I know, what I'm saying, all things, come through God, but I know there's times when I was just in a better financial space or whatever it was where I felt like I had more control of certain outcomes. But then when I really realized when I don't have it, sometimes I don't want to say it's better, but it's just as rewarding to be able to see like, damn, I didn't even have this coming in every month, but I got so much more to, you know what I'm saying, to come home to or whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? So
That kind of reminds me, when like when I first started barber school, I was taking like two buses to get there. And, I'm like, damn, I'm taking two buses. Everybody else is driving cars and they leaving. I'm over here on the bus, waiting for the bus, the bus, going to work from that shit. And I was,
kicking and pushing.
yeah, skateboarding, kick push, Lupe Fiasco
Kick,
shit, you know what I'm
push.
saying? But I just remembered, I think I remember telling you, I was like if I did have a car when I was going to barber school, I probably would have been bullshitting. I would have been coming every day. It would have took me way longer to complete, you know what I mean? By me not having a car and going to barber school, I was able to complete barber school faster than people who started before
Oh
me.
yeah,
You
for
know what I mean?
sure. For
I was
sure.
there every day. Like, I'm
For
not
sure.
playing. I don't got no car. I have no time to play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, sometimes when you're in a position, you just like, you don't have any time to play. You don't have no excuses. It's like the mission, the task at hand, the mission, you just like, I'm going to get this until it's just right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. So in the process, you have to learn, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is my way to take. And like, when you do it, you know what I mean? Shit will come and bless you. You know what I mean? Like, had a friend that stayed by me, had somebody, somewhere I can kick it with, somewhere I can kick it after school,
Right.
ride, you know what I
Right.
mean? So My parents blessed me with a car during barber school. And honestly, I don't think my parents really gave me a car.
If you wasn't
If I wasn't doing shit, I don't think they would even try. But since they see me trying, other people will see you trying, so they'll bless you. They'll help you. Help you along your journey. So
yeah, for sure.
You just have to see the lessons. You have to be open. You know what I mean? And you have to have a good attitude doing it too. You have to have a good attitude, and it's hard, man. That shit's hard, but you gotta do it though.
I think that's just part of having a certain amount of perspective and faith. Because, if you unfaithful, you're not gonna really be appreciative.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That faith is what make you appreciate and be able to see the little small stuff as wins instead of losses. You know what I'm saying? When there's a lot of people out here that's ungrateful and they got way more than the average.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they be ungrateful, and it's like, man, to me, your faith needs to be restored because, you know what I'm saying? Like we going through right now. We got people in other parts of the world that recently lost everything. Washed out.
Yeah.
So that put things in perspective for me to where it's like, man, I can't be worried about how much money I'm gonna make today.
Yeah.
I got my own business. I got a house that's still, you know what I'm saying, on solid ground that ain't got washed away.
Yeah. You don't gotta evacuate.
You ain't gotta evacuate. You ain't got, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's always being able to have the right perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I think all these things tie into emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Because those perspectives will keep you kind of level headed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have to tell myself, when things may not be going right, I have to tell myself, like I saw a post, or maybe it's in the Bible, I'm not sure, but that's not in the Bible, but I seen the post that says something like, everything that I have now, I once prayed for before. Everything I have, I prayed to have a barber license. I prayed to have my own spot. I prayed to have a whip. I prayed for the position I'm in right now. Once upon a time before. Right. So, yeah, you have to remind yourself. And maybe that's another factor in having high emotional intelligence is not to focus on the bad, but to count your blessings. You know what I mean? Like not, I don't have any clients today. I'm not making enough money today. I'm not woot. But I woke up today. I have my health today. My family is here. My son is alive. My son woke up. You know what I mean? You just start to count the blessings. And it's not, and like you say, we was just watching the news of Florida, the whole damn their state getting evacuated. We don't got to evacuate. You know what I mean? You don't got to, you know what I mean? And that's not a COVID thing. That's just in Florida.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we good. Yeah, y'all, you know what I mean? So you have to appreciate your blessings. My mom told me the other day, one of her good friends, he has throat cancer. People we had 2 people in 1 week say they, people overdose.
Oh yeah, youngsters.
You know what I mean? So, I'd be like, damn, these niggas is young, dying. I'm still alive. So I said we worried about, we don't got an appointment today. Nigga, I'm alive. You know what I'm saying? Niggas out here really just die. You feel me? Niggas out here really just are homeless. Niggas, you know what I mean? So
oh yeah, no, for sure. Because just
it ain't that bad.
No.
It ain't that bad.
Because just getting here in the morning and, you know what I'm saying, having a safe ride on 2 wheels, where there's times when I go home and I see people in motorcycle accidents and all that, man, if that don't put stuff in perspective, then I don't know what will. You know what I'm saying? Because their life will be forever changed from that day forward.
For
sure. Know what I'm saying? For the people who love them.
The one homie that just got, I don't put his name out there, but, he almost lost his life 2 weeks ago. I've been knowing him my whole life. So
that's
you know what I mean?
That's definitely crazy how how things work. And I just feel like as men, we have to find a way to be more emotional intelligent, especially like how we naming all these different, catastrophes and different things that's going on in the world. There's some people out here that just don't want to cope no more. They'll kill themselves. They'll take themselves out. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's the lowest level of emotional intelligence you can lack, because a part of the characteristics of emotional intelligence is just training your mind to be more positive, like we're talking about. And I think that just comes from like you saying before.
But I feel like let's just say if somebody was in like a really bad position, you know what I mean, or things that just ain't going right, in the household, things ain't going right, everything going right, like what would you tell them to like how to like not think like that, like suicide, or not think like what I mean, or try to motivate them to like inspire them that maybe everything's going to be better. This is just a season, you know what I mean? These,
I
like how
mean,
would you?
I think I would just, me personally, like, I would give them some of my perspective. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the losses that I've took, being able to bounce back from and be resilient, I never thought about taking myself out. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? There was a point in time to where, you know what I'm saying, I lost a child that was only 13 days old.
mm,
A lot of people don't even know that. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? But had a baby and the baby got sick, you know what I'm saying, and at the hospital and ended up, you know what I'm saying, passing away. And it's like at that point in time, being young and having to see, a small casket and having to do all this planning because the mom had a nervous breakdown and all that, man, gotta see you through. Gotta see you through some battles, boy. If you know what I'm saying, if you hold on and willing to fight.
mm.
And I think I can't really put a finger on it why people, give
Don't want
up.
to hold on or give
Yeah,
up.
give up
Yeah,
in the fight. Like,
yeah.
to me, like I don't understand. Like I was saying before, we put here to be tested and put here to be struggled, in a certain light to be able to make us better. So like the people
Mm-hmm.
who just give up, I think a lot, some of that, I don't want to say it, don't nobody take it offensive, but I think that's like being ungrateful.
Mm.
Because when we look at that, sometimes people who take themselves out, if you were to compare them to the average homeless person that we see walking by here that can still smile and I can still,
Tell jokes.
tell
They'll be
jokes and laugh
happy.
at stuff, but they digging in the trash and they smell like, they probably ain't been able to clean themselves in shit, possibly the last year.
Them niggas are chilling. They got a beer. They gonna smoke some weed. They gonna go try.
The
They
dog is
good.
happy.
They good, nigga. They be
So
good. They be
it's
good.
like, to see to compare and contrast how you may see one person that's at their very lowest to somebody that's above the majority still lose strength in the fight. Like,
Mm,
that's something that's always like, what I'm saying? I always
mm,
had to question it. Like, damn, what, like, what drove them to say, all right, enough is enough.
yeah.
I think I think that's selfish to me. That's selfish. That's only thinking about yourself, and you know what I mean. Like, you putting everything, like blaming yourself for stuff, like I was saying before, not being able to reward yourself for the small stuff. You know what I'm saying? To where you're just looking at everything like, oh, it can't get no worse. Oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just end it all. I lost my job. What?
Yeah.
Man, it's
Yeah.
people who been looking for a job diligently for the last, I don't know how long. And it's
Yeah.
just, it ain't been their time. Maybe they ain't
Mm-hmm.
went through the process long enough to be, picked for the job or that position that they want, whatever it may be. But
Yeah.
shit, they not giving up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It, it's just one of those things to where, some things you'll never really be able to put your finger on and understand.
Yeah. Now, I think I was asking my damn, like, what would make someone do that, or like, I think we talk about it like that. Why would he? What makes this person? I don't think we never have like a good answer. You know what I mean? Not to be on the funny, but I remember I was telling you, like, man, I want to do like a survey on like homeless people. Like, how'd y'all get? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, how'd y'all get here? What? Like, y'all good being here? Like, or people who go on the drugs and like, I'd be wondering like, how y'all get to this point in life? You know what I mean? And stay there, or like, what makes you
Yeah.
turn to this? What make, like you said, what made you like, it's that bad to where you want to take your life or somewhere?
Yeah, I mean that's all part of, like, I know not all circumstances, but sometimes that's all part of, like, dealing with your emotions.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
because it's interesting, you talk to some homeless people, and if they really give you their story, and if you listening, you can hear a point to where they kind of was like,
lost it.
fuck it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with this no more. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, and not even realizing, in my eyes, if you can survive on the streets with nothing, then I mean, shit, you stronger than a lot of people that can survive with
Yeah.
all the amenities, roof, car, all that.
Yeah.
Like, you surviving. Your
Yeah.
faith is on another level. No, for real. Because you sleeping outside in the cold, the elements. You sleeping to where anybody can walk up on. Like,
You don't got a paycheck to worry about to eat. You know what I mean? You don't know where your next meal is coming from. You know what I mean?
every
Yeah.
step you take is based on faith.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
to me, those are some of the people with the strongest, like, willpower. Because
Yeah.
they ain't giving up
Yeah. They ain't
regardless.
giving up. You know what
I
I mean?
what? I don't care if I gotta drag this basket, whatever
Yeah.
it is. I'm not giving up.
Shit, they ain't too
It
proud to
ain't,
hop in the dumpster, boy,
for
for
sure.
some cans. They
For
ain't too
sure.
proud.
For
I mean,
sure.
yeah.
So I mean, like, just to sum it up, like, what do you think? What do you think? Like, we can give to somebody that's honest enough to know, like, they struggle from emotional intelligence. Like, what's one thing that you can kind of give them to maybe open their perspective a little bit, to be able to make those changes, to, you know what I'm saying, to allow them to deal with stuff different. You know, kind of similar to what you asked me. Like, what advice would you offer to somebody that's honest enough to know that they're not operating on, a high level of emotional intelligence? Like, what would you give them? For me, I would give them stories and experiences and just try to compare my trials to, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, what would you give them?
Yeah, I guess I'll give them, my experiences too. Is like, I've been there as far as like, people test me getting bad. Um, I mean, I guess this, like, well, I'm a barber, so I'm a professional, I guess. So in any field or profession, you have to maintain a certain level of professionalism. So that's hard because, like I said, I still struggle with that. I still struggle. I bottle stuff up and I get bad. Not to say I react to everything.
But
Yeah, like I said, everything doesn't need reaction. You know what I mean? And like I said, I feel like if you're not contributing anything to, you're not contributing anything to like my well-being. You know what I mean? You're not helping me pay no rent. You're not helping me pay no bills. You're not giving me no ride to work. You're not feeding my son. You're not feeding my girl. You're not helping on anything. You know what I mean? So it's like, I guess don't worry about I guess it comes down to worry about what other people think. You know what I mean? Or that's one way of it, because people can't test you, so it's not like all worrying about what other people think. But yeah, it's a hard one. That's a hard one.
I heard something. You was like, it's hard because you say you still struggle with it, and we all do. But don't you think that, like, knowing that and holding yourself accountable to knowing that you still struggle, like, to me, that's a higher sense of emotional intelligence. Because I know some things is gonna get me.
For
You feel what
sure.
I'm
I
saying?
know.
I
Yeah.
know some things is gonna break me down. I know
Yeah.
there's still a wall on certain stuff to where it's like, yeah, if you hit that wall, ain't no
Yeah. It's
telling.
gonna be a trigger for
Ain't
sure.
no
Like
telling.
I
Yeah,
have triggers.
ain't no
Like
telling.
I have triggers for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Um. Man, like I said, that's a hard one, man.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm asking is just like that level of accountability. Like,
like me knowing
right?
that I have triggers and I still deal with it. You're asking me like
Don't you feel like
part of having emotional
that's
intelligence?
part of having emotional intelligence and not really
I didn't really think about it like
and
that.
not really struggling with it, because you can hold yourself accountable and know. And that emotional intelligence will keep you from engaging in certain situations
Oh, I
because
see.
you know, like, nah, man, I can't be around you because I know what type of person you is.
Yeah.
And if you push that button like you push with him, I'm gonna do something to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To me, like
I've cut people off for sure. I'll cut people off. You know what I mean? Like it's one of my homies. I'll block that nigga. I cut that nigga off, and I know myself because I'm like, you keep testing me, bro. You keep testing me. You keep saying shit. I be telling you, and he'll apologize for it, but you keep doing it again. You know what I mean? And it's not like what you're saying is like it's like you're disrespectful as fuck. You know what I mean? And I've seen you be disrespectful to your friends, to my friends, to multiple people. So it's like that's maybe who you are. You know what I mean? And yeah, so I'll just cut people off. You know what I mean? I won't ever deal with you. Like. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know if that's emotional intelligence.
No, yeah, for sure.
It's like, I'll cut you off. He called me the other day. Block that nigga, man. And I don't care, man. I literally told him, too. I was like, bro, I'm not, like, I'm cool, like, but I'm not, like, you're too disrespectful, bro. Like, you crossed too many boundaries too many times. So it's like, you know what I mean? I can't fuck with you, you know what I mean? Like you'll me and him might get into it and you say something about my family, you say something about you don't really know, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, oh yeah, I gotta cut you off, dog. Cause like you said, it's like I would want to hurt your ass, you know what I mean? Yeah, you think it's a game, you know what I mean? You think it's funny, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I really be getting mad, you know what I mean? So yeah, I gotta cut you off, dog. Like, you know what I mean, you cool with everything. If I see you, like, if I was to see him in the street, I'm not gonna, fuck you or beat you up. I'll probably say what's up to him, and I'll still tell him the same thing. Like, yeah, I gotta cut you off, bro. Like, you're too disrespectful, man. Like, you're too crazy. You say some crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like, repeatedly. You know what I mean? So I'll just cut you off. You know what I mean? So yeah, I cut people off, man.
I feel you. That's a sign of emotional intelligence.
I cut people off, yeah.
Knowing those that are good for you and those that don't really necessarily mean you know what.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to close with this question, and you know what I'm saying? How do you feel about like somebody that may keep apologizing for like the same action? You feel what I'm saying? Like you said, your boy, he keep saying stuff and then he might come back and be like, oh man, my bad, I didn't mean it like that. So I mean, how do you feel like, or how do you feel about those type of people? Because we all know people that'll do something and they feel like because they say sorry every time they do something, then it's like it's forgiven. But like for me, I answered it first, then I'll let you go. For me, somebody who keeps saying sorry about the same thing, but like that revolves around the same thing, but their actions ain't really changing. To me, that's somebody that's like operates on like a lower level. I don't want to say they don't have no emotional intelligence, but to me, they operating on a low level of emotional intelligence because you can't even like grasp the whole feeling that like you got to keep saying sorry because you know you saying shit that's cutting or you saying shit that's you know what I'm saying that's getting below the surface. So it's like how do you manage that? Because a lot of times the only people that can really hurt us is the people that we care about. You feel what I'm saying? Like we were saying, people we don't care about, man, you say whatever, man, you don't mean nothing to me. Yeah. So like how do we manage other people's emotions that we care about, even though they may do shit from time to time that like, you know what I'm saying? That scar us.
Well, going back to my homie I was telling you I cut off, like I do know he can like I do know. Well, first of all, that's kind of like his personality. You know what I mean? Okay. So it might be one thing to like if he just did it to me. You know what I mean? Like, nah, he do it to everybody. That's he's consistent with that. Right. So part of me thinks, you know what I mean? Like why I may have forgiven him a couple of times because it's like this is not just me. This is your consistent nature. Attack. You know what I mean? Right. And another thing, part of it is because I mean, I remember he told me one time like about he was having some family problems. You know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, I can see where this is coming from. It's like, like you do it consistently to everybody, you know what I mean? And I know you know what I mean? You might be dealing with, like you said earlier, you're dealing with other issues. So you're putting that on to me, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, like, it's like, it's more forgivable. It's like, or more, but as far as like, you said your question was like, how do you deal with? So I guess it might be depending on the person. Like I feel like every situation is not bluntly the same. Everything can be different. You know what I mean? I know with me and my girl, like I'll apologize for the same things. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I have necessarily low emotional intelligence, I feel like it may be a reaction I react to, or like you said, like I'm bottling up emotions from everybody else,
from other
from
stuff.
just the world I live in, and going to work, dealing with clients, dealing with family,
being
you know
black.
what I mean? Being black, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And then she might say something, it's not even her, it's like, it's a trigger that I already have, you know what I mean? And
right.
I might, say, you know what I mean? And I have to end up apologizing to her by, so
Right.
I think every situation is a little different. So I can't really, it's like now, it's not like one bland answer for that, you know what I mean? I feel like it's different, times or, but as far as like the regular everyday person, or like maybe like, for example, like my friend, like you say, how would I deal with that? Or you're asking me how?
Yeah. Like how would you, maybe not even how would you deal with it? Cause it ain't necessarily for us to deal with, but it's just like, how do you like receive that? You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying, you answered it really, cause you were saying, he consistent. So I don't really receive it as a personal attack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's not personal.
Right.
That's
Everybody,
that nigga.
and everybody gotta
Yeah.
grow. And if he doing that to everybody,
Yeah.
that's just how he is. So I gotta feed him with a long handle spoon and
Yeah.
just know, okay,
Yeah.
you cool, you my boy, but I gotta keep you
at a
over here.
distance. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I gotta
sure.
keep you over here because if I let you in, you're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
say
gonna
something that's
I'm gonna have to
cut.
really try to hurt you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna lash
be hot.
back,
Yeah,
and that's gonna be that.
You know what I mean?
So I think we're gonna end it there. Just saying that the biggest things I think you can have when you're emotional intelligent is just like having that empathy, you know what I'm saying, for other people to where you willing to at least try to understand like where they coming from or what might have, everybody have their own triggers like we was talking about earlier. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think having empathy and just that, managing your own emotions, that's the simplest form of, emotional intelligence is pretty much having that understanding because that empathy is going to give you understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't care, then I don't care how you feel when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? But if I care, I'm gonna be a little bit more intelligent and a little bit more wise on how I respond.
For sure.
Because I don't necessarily want to scar you like that. Even if you cut me deep with something you said, I don't want to hit you like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, for me, I have to tell. I just told my girl this the other day. I was like, you don't really hear how you respond sometimes. But me knowing what she does for a living and the type of people that she works around, I give it a pass because I understand you have to talk to them a certain way. You have to be a little bit more stern, a little bit more sharp. Your tone got to cut a little bit because she's dealing with people with, you know what I'm saying, with drug addictions and they come in there lying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I'm able to be empathetic to, you know what I'm saying, things that may come out a little harsh.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like,
it's almost like a nature. It's like, you're at a job, you have to kind of like fight yourself off your job.
Right.
Now you come home, it's like you feel attacked. You're instantly, your reaction is instantly to, fight off. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
only because that's that
Perception,
mechanism that you got to use with them because you got to kind of keep them at bay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's something that I understand. And,
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I just had to take that into account. So when it do come out like that, I don't even let it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even let it get to me like that because I know where it's coming from now.
Yeah, exactly.
And as soon as I said that, she laughed and she agreed. She was like, yeah, you damn right. I be having to talk to them crazy sometimes because they be in my face. They don't want to listen. They bugging me. I got a job to do. And it's like, I understand.
Now, sometimes with my girl, like, if I'm saying it's something serious, you know what I mean? She won't really receive it. But I say in a jokingly way, she'll laugh like, oh, you get it.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from. Like, you get where I'm coming from. Okay, you know what I mean?
Right.
No, I'm not crazy.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure. Well, shit, that's gonna be it, man. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Like I said before in the beginning, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share this out. If there's anything that helped you or was able to, grab some sauce from the episode, definitely share it out, and you know what I'm saying. Repurpose it as needed to be able to apply it to your life because the whole rhyme and reason behind the Real Ops podcast is just breaking down that it ain't no real ops out there. You know what I'm saying? We create that in our mind based on our perception, how we deal with things like emotional intelligence, and even the last episode, just dealing with fears of stepping into new things and all that. That's all part of, what I'm saying, what people create as being an op.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna end it with that. You got anything else?
I think you covered it, man. You covered it, yeah.
For sure. Well,
Yeah.
once again, man, we thank y'all for tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Y'all tap into the Real Ops podcast, man. We out of here.